hopefully we can give you a good game.
I hope that's like watch the kids, not took the kids. You know, some different connotations there.
I mean, he wrote took on both lines. One line is a typo, 2 lines is a plan. Emilio, Sejuani, Ivern, and LeBlanc, all those other bans, and Vi is the first pick for 100 Thieves and closer.
I mean, Vi has basically been permabanned in LCS. When it's up, it gets picked. It's only gotten picked a couple times so far, though, because it has been pretty much getting permabanned. But you called out the Renekton as something that you do think is worth banning, and that does mean you're going to have to leave up one of the OPs. There just seems to be so many champions that you want to ban these days on red side that there's not a lot of room for those kind of like personal flavor bans, like for target bans, which I do think is one of the advantages that blue side has right now, because it's so hard. Like Shiv LeBlanc, you can't really let through. Nico, you can't really let through. And then it's like you get +1, and there's other OPs, but there's also the personal preference.
Yeah, it also feels like blue side can just ban, sort of target ban and ban for their first pick, and you still have to ban out the Vi, and you have other picks you can pick for. Interesting that they pick Ahri so early in draft.
Yeah, not expecting that.
I think they want to take away Vi Ahri. I think they're just concerned about that.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
But that's one of those things where it's like, where are you on the side of this fence? Because it's the old discussion people used to have a lot with like Xayah Rakan, where someone would take Xayah and then like, well, we're going to take away Rakan, even though it's like not necessarily as good individually.
Yeah, I mean, I think that with Vi, it makes sense to take away the Rakan. But now that they're picking mid lane, I guess they can't really pick AD. I guess you would want to pick like something like Aphelios Rakan, something like this. I'm also surprised they didn't pick something like, they might pick something like AShe on ADC and just drop top lane and support. And I think that the Azir prior has been raising a lot recently, which is also why I was surprised to see Ahri, because it feels like people are pretty happy with Azir into Ahri right now.
I feel like you need a ganking jungler with Ahri to actually make it work, right? Because you need to be able to threaten the Azir. If the Azir is able to sit back comfortably, he's going to outrange you, he's going to have push. You need to be threatening him on cooldown, and I think that is what they're going to be looking for here on 3. I'm just not really sure what you go for. Vi is obviously kind of the premier one. Closer is really known for like Viego and Lee Sin and whatever, but those don't really have, I think, the easiest time of making things happen around the Azir.
Well, the Rakan locked in next to the Xayah here for EG, so pretty different roles drafted, because both sides obviously have the mid laner, but then it's jungle and top drafted for 100 Thieves, letting both bottom lane roles go through to the second half of the draft, while EG has picked up the Xayah Rakan combo.
I mean, 100 Thieves probably just ban AD junglers, no?
Right, they just ban AD junglers, or you can ban something like Jax or Poppy or whatever you think is best for top lane. You can probably just put one ban into that. Personally, I don't think you really need to ban anything for top lane right now, and just banning something like Wukong Viego maybe for jungle would be nice.
Yeah.
So that obviously, and Nocturne I think is actually a really good ban. With Ahri and Rakan, it's pretty annoying to play against Nocturne.
Yeah, Wukong would make a lot of sense to me. I mean, Viego just doesn't, I think, have like
it doesn't have the
pressure around.
It doesn't have that same kill threat.
Yeah, so I do like the Wukong ban a lot more. I mean, yes, he can go Lee Sin, but I think Lee Sin has his own struggles these days.
All right, what's the last one going to be, EG? Do we focus more of that AD carry pool? I mean, there's only been the single AD carry ban so far here, but they do want to get rid of 2 of those hyperscalers. Jinx and Aphelios both off the table. Aphelios was the champion that you guys mentioned earlier, potentially picking. So let's see.
DoubleLift could just go back to Lucian, no? Like,
he could go back to Lucian. He could. Emilio is out, so Lucian does lose value, and Nami is probably not so good against so much dive.
Yeah.
I mean, you could pick something like Varus or Ashe, but I'm not sure what support you'd pair with that. So we'll see. I'm not really sure how 100 Thieves is looking to pick here.
I know there are some people doing like the kind of like AP-ish Zeri builds also. So there is some of the stuff. I feel like DoubleLift's not usually the guy to like cook up the new crazy build though.
We all remember DoubleLift Senna when Senna
we don't got to talk about that, right?
Wait, didn't they win all the time with this Senna? I thought it was his Vladimir and stuff that wasn't good.
No, it was his Senna.
Oh, it's the Senna too?
So he got better at the Senna, but when he started, it was DoubleLift bot, and I'm not talking about the lane. he was having a rough time.
Maybe I'm thinking about like the Sona TK, because there was one of those comps that they were running.
He was good at Sona TK.
Yeah, I guess it was Sona TK that I was thinking about, not the Sona TK.
They picked Ashe Braum. I guess it makes sense.
Okay.
Protect from a lot of the dive.
Now this seems like a DoubleLift champ.
I mean, I feel like DoubleLift is a lot of the team's strength, but maybe with Quid now as a new player on their team, he can actually play to carry. I just don't feel like yeah, I just feel like DoubleLift's usually the carry on
That's
this
what I was gonna say. Is that Ashe is more the supportive role, right? Like you're not the main character usually when you are playing Ashe.
Trinity.
Well, I mean, the problem is you don't have mobility, right? So it's very difficult to actually make those aggressive plays. I think when you're looking over and you see Rakan, you see Ahri, you see Viego, all these champions. It's like when you step forward, you can just expose yourself in a way that gets really, really difficult. So generally, like when I see Ashe, it's more about poking and prodding with a volley. It's about hitting what comes into your range. You can't really take over in that same way that we're used to seeing. So I do think there's a lot of pressure on Quid to make things happen in this game.
Yeah, I'm also not really a big fan of Armao picking Viego over Wukong here. I think Viego just doesn't have the same amount of engage that you need to kill the Azir in this game, so...
And that goes back to what you guys were talking about, wanting to see a ganking jungler. Unfortunately, Spectral Maw, and just Spectral Maw, is not an incredibly threatening gank. We do have the Sion drafted for EG there for that main frontline, main meatball.
But one thing goes wrong sometimes early, and you're just like, well,
I will say that I think Jojopyun is a player that is probably the player I trust most to look for these engages. I think he's the most aggressive mid laner, so, well, maybe you can argue Eminence actually, but Jojopyun definitely will find the angle, so I actually have a lot of trust in him to be useful this game as Ahri.
Well, we're back into the game. Let's see where it goes. Vi and Viego are two junglers this game. Vi much more adept at those early ganks than you would generally expect the Viego to be.
I thought you were gonna just go Vi and Viego are two junglers this game. Full stop.
No, dude, I'm not just gonna.
I thought you were just about to full
We also got
troll.
Xayah and Ashe here in the bottom lane, and of course, who can forget Braum and Rakan are also present on Summoner's Rift.
I'm glad the observers are not looking at top lane right now. They're taking my advice.
Right, we're gonna go with the no looking at top
We've looked at
lane
mid and
angle.
bot so far, so I'm enjoying
You
it.
want to talk about the sick intricacies of the grasp trades?
Ksante cues the wave, pushes, nothing happens.
All right, well, we'll see where Armao is going to go. This looks like clearing top to bot.
He's trying to invade Raptors here with mid push. Bot lane push is about even, but I think Ashe and Braum are actually pushing this in. He's going to look to try to steal it, but neither of them actually have smite, so they're actually just going to fight to the death.
Yes, let's go. Chicken battle. Quid is stuck underneath the turret. Armao, the big chicken resets. He goes back in. And that's chicken victory for Armao.
Oh, but if Quid comes now, he's going to start losing minions.
Exactly.
So he actually can't come. This is really awkward.
Jojo's winning a lot of trades right now, which is really hard. Jojo's going to be able to push this wave out. Quid's going to be...
Braum's coming now, though, so...
Yeah, but they're also going to be able
push.
to... If he just waits right now and he just coin flips the red buff, I think it's not bad. With Ahri pushing, he can dive mid.
Oh, yeah. He's ready. Spectral Maul's going to go in here. Finds the stun. Quid flashing away. Armao had to use the flash to land the Spectral Maul, so he can't chase Quid any further there. 100 Thieves mid laner. He survives, but he loses the flash and has to recall immediately.
Honestly, really nicely done by Armao. I think it's a good early plan, you know, clear top to bot, invade red. Jojo has push, and yeah, it is flash for flash. They don't get the kill, but Quid is actually pushed back. He's going to lose some farm. Like, his base is going to be terrible. What is he coming back here with?
Yeah, this is an awful base in comparison to Ahri, especially because Ahri has corrupting potions. He's going to be able to get probably
way more value.
Yeah, a lot more value, and he also lost a lot of minions here, so not looking too good for 100 Thieves early game. Unless...
DoubleLift, ready to go in with the Ashe here. Lands the stun, forces the cleanse out of Unforgiven. Ballbreaker being charged for closer, but he does not engage with it. Busio takes a bit of damage on the back end of the fight here, but DoubleLift being forced to use that cleanse. Or DoubleLift using the Ghost, Unforgiven being forced to use the cleanse. So at least a couple summoner spells down here. I expect more jungle attention because, as you said, Fudge, they're not going top.
Yeah, no, top lane, both junglers can't really kill the top laners this game unless the wave is really bad or they don't recall and TP back. Now that obviously there's no cleanse, they're definitely going to be looking back there again at level 6. Hopefully, yeah, I think they will be hitting 6 around the same time that cleanse will be back up, so...
Yeah, I mean, I think if EG like pushes heavily into 100 Thieves, then there's opportunities to pull off ganks, but Braum obviously doesn't have the greatest gank assist.
Exactly,
like, you need to tag him with the Q and proc passive, and then be able to try to get something done from that, but EG, nice engage.
Well done from Eyla. Double knock-up. Busio and DoubleLift. All the way back underneath the turret, boys. DoubleLift rooted up by the feathers there at the very, very end. Hits level 4 to heal up some of that damage. Armeo's only top side to clear the Krugs. No interest in anything else that might be going on up here as Someday gets that wave crashing into the turret. Someday does have a nice little bit of a CS lead for now over Revenge, but I'm assuming there's plenty of minions there for Revenge to make up that gap with as they crash in. Busio and DoubleLift, again, at the health disadvantage here, having to respect the Xayah Rakan in the 2v2.
I'm interested to see if he'll try to invade Raptors again on Viego. He might be looking for it right now.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to cross the mid.
I mean, there's no flash on Azir, so it's really hard for him to fight, but this trade actually is quite good for Azir in the 1v1.
Yeah, Jojo kind of lost push. I mean, Azir is like getting pretty low on mana. I don't think it's gonna matter just yet, but Armao's already there and he is starting it up. He does have smite, so should be able to get this, I think.
Yeah, I would expect that to go through. Closer is going to walk over the ward here, so Armao already sees him there. Most of the baby chickens stolen away by Closer. Spectrum off from Armao. Jungler's level 5. Quid rotating over now, but Armao wins this 1v1.
They're diving mid with Sion ult.
Yeah, there we go. Revenge going in.
Oh, he just got
tries to go for the outplay here. The charm lands. Decimating smash onto 2. It's first blood back over to Jojo. But there comes the shuffle. Quid buying a little bit more time. Someday goes all out. Revenge goes down. Armao escapes the last turret shot. EG's got himself a 2-1 lead. Armao's about to drop. Someday needs one more Q, but he ain't gonna find it just yet. A little bit of footwork might close the gap to give him the last Intofo strike. He's still going.
Nice.
Nicely done. The cooldowns at the same time.
Man, that is heartbreaking. Quid hit 6 right as they started that dive, but did he just not have the ulti, or was he trying to save him for a longer time?
So, I'm pretty sure he used E and he ran out of mana. Then he used Biscuit, and I think he was able to get ulti afterwards.
Like, it looked like he was full right? But when he hit 6, I thought he was going to have enough mana to do it. So he pulls aside. He's 6 now. Then he uses the E and he Qs. Yeah, he EQs, and now he has no mana. Because I was wondering why it took him so long to get it out. It's obviously tough in those situations when you level up. Yeah, you obviously have to use the E, but like if he had E'd and then ulted, maybe it looks better. Yeah, it looks a lot better. I think at least you get that 1 kill back. Yeah, maybe more. But that's a tough situation. It's hard to blame someone in those like high pressure moments to track your mana cost exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Evil Geniuses off to a 700 gold lead or thereabouts. You can see with control over this bottom side river, Armao will take the crab halfway to level 6. We're going to keep our eyes on those jungle level timers, markers, whatever you want to call them, to see if they can make those return visits back to the bottom lane. The Ghost for DoubleLift, the Cleanse for Unforgiven are both back up and ready to go again. EG does have a massive minion wave built up here that they will be pushing forward and crashing into the turret of 100 Thieves. So if Jojo and Armao want to hang around this bot side, they could try to turn that crash into a Drake play on the side of EG.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see if they're going to be going up towards doing it. It doesn't seem like there's been much of any prio really on the Dragons this game. But why do you think that is?
I mean, obviously Viego looked at 2 Raptor invades, which delays a lot of his other camps. So he's just wanting to play for his own farm. He's not really highly prioritizing Dragons just because he thinks getting a lead in the jungle, which has been working out for him so far, will just be more impactful.
Do you think it's important, you know, when we're talking about like the difficulty in execution for a team like EG, right? So, you know, one of the easier places to find those flanks sometimes is around, you know, dragon fights and whatnot. Right. So do you think that should raise the importance of trying to stack and have this objective where you can maybe pull them to you?
Yeah, I think that definitely does.
Armao, nicely done there, using the Heartbreaker to get back away, and now Quid is under pressure. They need a little bit more damage to finish him, and Armao's got it. Now he can reset, and Closer's gonna die too. Over the wall goes Armao, but Ayla's Ignite already has the kill. 2-0 EG in the scrap.
And I think 100 Thieves going for that fight, like trying to engage in there when you know that Rakan is before your Ashe and Braum doesn't really make any sense. I think even 2v2 it would have been bad regardless, but just the thought process behind that was not very good, I think. And now the game is just going to be really blown wide open, and I'm not sure if they can actually recover with Azir being so far behind.
Yeah, it gets really difficult. Honestly, great buffer from Armao. You know, Quid looks for the pick here, nicely timed on the R, has the buffer out, and then Quid has to flash and retreat. Jojo shows up, flash charm, beautifully done. And even though the Vi has arrived, Ayla is here as well. Armao flashes in, gets the reset, and you know the fight is absolutely doomed as soon as Viego gets 1 soul.
Yeah, exactly. Not too sure if Quid can recover from this game state. He's really far behind.
He has no farm either.
Yep.
And you guys were talking about in the draft, hey, it's all about Azir, it's all about Quid. This is what the draft functions with. So if he's set behind, all of 100 Thieves is going to struggle to execute on the win condition here. They are going after the first Drake, Mountain Drake, so it takes a little while longer than some of the others to beat down, but nobody from EG's around. So I guess if you're looking for something for the side 100 Thieves to find in the first 10 minutes of this game, that first Drake is about all they got.
Yeah, they get the dragon. You know, bot lane obviously is farming well. They have a CS advantage on top side too, so there are some things, but mid jungle, you know, very far behind. And honestly, it is interesting, right? Because we've seen this actually a number of times when someone comes in first game on stage, teams are just going to go right at them because they know that they're going to be more nervous. Same thing happened actually to M&S.
Yeah,
that Ahri ult just, or rather the Ahri almost gets ulted there, where he was playing that Victor game, right? And literally there was an interview after the game, and it was like, well, we knew he was going to be nervous. It was his first game, so we're just going to full send everything at him. And EG has kind of crafted this game plan where, yeah, it is Jojo on a champion that has to really play more aggressive to make it happen, but he has those aggressive tendencies. They're going for these invades constantly, and they're looking to dive.
Oh, Closer just gets caught. You gotta know there, if the support's going in on you, it's not really a 1v1. He dies for a bucket of chicken.
It's a real big disaster for the mid jungle here for 100 Thieves, because they're the two main important parts of this comp, I feel, and them being really far behind the Viego and Ahri makes it very, very hard for the bot and top to play.
And that Viego has his Trinity Force completed. As of the recent changes to Trinity and Sunderer, I am now a Sunderer hater, Trinity supporter. I'm happy to see the Trinity build here on Armao's Viego. I think he's going to get a lot of value out of that with how far ahead of the curve of the game he is right now. And it's just, if you're Vi, all you've got is pieces, man. If you see this guy in neutral territory, you're not going anywhere near him. Unforgiven has to flash out over the wall.
Oh, no!
Lord. It's just disaster after disaster.
Oh, that's tragic.
Oh, no.
You have to be hugging that wall, and you can't. I don't even think you can flash over the absolute fattest part. And you've got to kind of flash over the skinnier parts of that triangle.
Yeah.
Jojo getting ulted back into Closer. 100 Thieves want to make the play, but EG's got more men there, and they got him there sooner. Closer's the target now as Jojo dashes back away. Armao with a stab in the back takes down Closer.
This game is doomed.
It's another 2-0, boys. It's 4,000 gold ahead.
I feel like everyone has played one of these Vi games where your early game goes bad, and then there's just like, you just know you're going to have 10 deaths, right? Like, there's nothing for this champion to do except go in, and when you're going in from behind, you're just a free kill. It's a gold delivery system.
I feel like if Vi starts 0-2 and 0, she just becomes Meals on Wheels. Yeah. Like, it's just, you're getting food no matter what.
I mean, your only option is to go in, so
yeah, what are you going to do?
Nothing else to do. I don't know. I would be so sad if I was DoubleLift right now.
I mean, he's got a shiv.
Like that was your only opportunity to get ahead, you know? Because the Xayah was completely trolling. She was by herself, and then she flashes over the wall, and you fail the flash. It's just really sad. I mean, obviously, it's not on him that they're losing this game at all, but
yeah,
it's a very sad moment.
VODS going fine for them. Next game for 100 Thieves, DoubleLift Jinx.
Right back to it.
Come back tomorrow.
Hey guys, someday is up 20.
Oh man. Quid.
I'm getting some. Okay, he lives. Okay, he lives, guys. That's cool.
Yeah, Jojo did not have a flash to immediately follow. You can see Jojo's flash timer is just about back, but not quite there. So
you already know Jojo's gonna flash for that 100 gold right there, like that 150 gold. He's already like worth nothing, but he has to flash for the ego, you know?
Yeah. You gotta let him know. It's about sending a message.
Exactly.
Break the mental.
They're dominant.
Someday is doing very good right now, guys. He's up 20 CS. Yeah, he's playing lane extremely well.
And that for sure is gonna have a large impact on the game.
And yeah.
This will offset the advantages in the mid and bottom lanes as well as
they're both
jungle.
solo lanes and therefore are equal.
100 Thieves are moving up towards that top lane, trying to knock down this turret plate while they still have the chance. Only 30 seconds left for those plates to stand. While Jojo's just going to race them to first turret here in the bottom side. He'll take that one down by himself. Solo gold on the Ahri. 4,500 lead for Evil Geniuses, man.
Yeah, I mean, Jojo is almost at 6K gold, and Quid over there is 3,900. So, like, that's a roughie to be down 2K this early on in your individual matchup. Jojo's going to have Mythic completed whenever he wants to go back, but he's even just pushing this one in. The jungle advantage is just as big as well. 2K in jungle, 2K in mid. It's even 600 ahead now for Unforgiven, who's starting to pick up some of this extra gold.
So, how do you feel about 100 Thieves as a whole here, Fudge? Because we started off on day number 1, everybody thought they were looking pretty hot. Like, they stomped FlyQuest. But then we've seen what FlyQuest actually has had happen to them. And so if 100 Thieves' only win is versus FlyQuest, are they on the struggle bus?
Yeah, they're definitely struggling right now as a team, and I think it's a hard position to be in, obviously, with your mid laner who obviously doesn't speak the same language as majority of the players, or at least doesn't speak it very well. It's really hard to be on the same page, and you're gonna have a lot of issues, especially when you start losing games.
Oh, they've already killed DoubleLift. They start the fight off, blowing up the enemy AD carry. They follow it up with the mid laner. Both kills go to Armao. The Viego, 6-0-3, 100% kill participation. Absolutely running the rift against 100 Thieves.
Yeah, Armao and Jojo are having a hell of a game here. It has been all about mid jungle. You said 100% KP for Armao has been really putting a lot of pressure on, and EG are running away with this one really fast. But back to your point, Fudge, like you're saying, it is difficult when you are missing your mid laner at the start of the year. You know, it's hard to really have like a fair judgment of the strength of the team, but clearly they are struggling.
I also was thinking about, like, from Revenge's perspective, he's like been on Immortals his whole life, and now he finally gets to play Sion and get carried. You know? Like, how nice must that be? Like, I have that feeling all the time.
Upgrades.
Oh boy. Well, EG's going in again, and 100 Thieves are trying to get the hell out of town. Busio lives. Somedays trying to stand and fight. How long is he going to stay here? Goes all out. Brings Revenge over the wall with him. Decimating Smash isn't going to find anything, but the rest of 100 Thieves now has to be careful. Armao is godlike, and DoubleLift's dead again. EG pick up another one. They're forcing everybody else away. Unforgiven gets a second back onto Quid. Over and over again, EG's not just finding the fights, they're finding the enemy carries.
You like want to say, oh, they should do Baron, and then you realize it's 15 minutes in, they haven't even killed the tier 1. They're diving the tier 2. It's like, what are you doing to them?
The tier 2, they're diving the base. Roser's low, man. Jojo's going to assassinate him. He flashes back over the wall. What is this
What is happening?
League of Legends.
That's a little bit of flexing for Jojo for sure. He's having some fun.
Yeah, he's definitely having a lot of fun. This feels like one of those scrim games where, like, you're in game 5, your last day of the game, like game of the day, sorry, and you already FF too many times in scrim, so like you got to keep playing, but you don't really want to play, so you just keep inting and keep dying so the game can go as fast as possible. This is what it feels like right now.
Jojo having some fun, trying to dive the inhibitor tower there. Almost makes it work with the tier 1 still up. Doesn't quite get the kill, does spend the flash, but Armao now on 2 items. He is so insanely strong. And anytime Viego is playing from ahead, this champion is so miserable to fight against because you just know he's strong enough to get the 1 kill, and if he gets 1 kill, you're not really going to be able to deal with him.
Trinity Force, Black Cleaver, and tier 2 boots all done 17 minutes into the game on 2023 jungle economy. This
Armao is feeling good right now.
He's having the time of his life.
Can't get on a team, get us on a team, and then plays like this? Damn. Must be happy.
Living the dream. Well, the next Dragon's alive, but nobody really cares. I mean, honestly, if you're EG, that's small potatoes. You can just kind of walk wherever you want, take whatever objective you care about. Some days getting the red. So,
I mean, I think they're going to take the dragon just because it's free, right? But it's like, you know, this is clearly not a soul game.
I mean, you got the red buff. I mean, someday did get the red buff.
Dude, that's about the deepest analysis I have. Is look, man, it's something, okay? He got the red.
I mean, I assume that EG is just going to look to play mid-bot side right now. They do have the Herald. They're probably going to end up using it on bot tier 2 just to break it. And then Baron. Once Baron's up, they're just going to take full topside vision and just stop Baron turn. It's going to be really hard for 100 Thieves to play from this point.
Yeah, I mean, when you get this far behind, enemy team starts firing 3 quadrants of jungle, right? And you just fall further and further behind. You know, they can invade so easily. It's really difficult. Like, you need to group up like this. They need 4 members to reclaim any vision in their own jungle. But all the camps have already been taken. They're already cross-mapping, setting up vision on top side, and pushing out that. So you have to spend all this time just to really get very little done.
And it looks like they're actually planning on heralding top tier 2 and taking a lot of topside vision, which I guess makes sense considering they want to get a lot. Oh no, actually Xayah's looking at base and Sion's going back bot, so they're just not going to use the herald for now, I guess.
Yeah, I guess not. I mean, they're up 8,000 gold, almost 19 minutes in. Maybe I can't tell what the timer is there.
Neither can I. It looks like it's kind of double overlapped. Is that just me?
Yeah, it does look kind of double overlap, so I can't tell how much time is left on it. But what if they go for the chat play of time it with Baron, use it as a distraction, and just rush Baron?
I was thinking about that, yeah.
You have Viego and Xayah both with 2 fully completed items, so just burn it down.
Exactly.
What are they going to do, fight you?
Yeah, as long as you have the Herald by like 1940 or something like that, you can actually just take full topside vision using the Herald pressure, and then they can't really walk into the jungle.
Sion tanks Baron, Viego and Xayah hit it, and you have Ahri and Rakan flanking, so it's like, how do you ever walk into that?
Exactly.
But at the same time, if you give up Baron while you're already this far down, I mean, is that the fight that you're willing to flip it at? Because at a certain point, like in a game like this, you know you're getting pounded, right? When you're playing, you don't know the exact goal deficits, but you look at the item completions and you know you're getting blasted. You have to pick a moment to like go for it and just pray. So like, what is your moment? Is Baron the bridge too far, or is it like just turtle in the base and wait for something more than that? Because we're not going to get to Soul or Elder.
It's such a hard decision. Looking at the items, I mean, I feel like they might just be able to dive you with Baron, so you might just have to fight Baron. But if you fight Baron, you will die. So you have Shiv on Ashe, you know, you have Azir wave clear. Maybe you just play to give the Baron and just wave clear.
Or scaling.
I very much doubt they will do that. I wouldn't be surprised if they just walk in and try to like steal with the Vi or something like this.
It is so tough though, right? Because you're in this situation where it's like you're talking about what is the best chance to win, but it's like maybe a 2% chance versus a 1% chance,
Exactly,
or a 4% chance is like a really good play at this point.
That's a little generous. Let's go ahead and pull back there a little bit.
Well, you know, I'm just saying, you know, you get a banger opportunity, you might have a 4% chance to win this game.
Well, that's what, 1 out of 25 times from this game state. I'm not taking the bet. Well, let's see.
They're gonna try.
Evil Geniuses, they're going for the Baron. They already got it down below 5K. And just as you guys said, it's Eyla and Jojo on the flank, ready to go in. Eyla with a flash engage. Busio's the target. He's already down, and Armao's legendary. Revenge leads the way towards the enemy carry. Goodbye, DoubleLift, the heartbreaker, the playmaker. And Jojo's the one taking the kill credit as closer and someday head to the hills. Oh, man, it's just EG all day in Game 5.
They decided to do both.
Yeah.
You give the Baron and you fight them at the same time. Not too sure if that was the best decision from 100 Thieves, but I guess they feel very desperate, understandably.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard, right? Like, you know they're going to do Baron, but it's so hard to walk in there. You don't want to just completely blind face check it, but then if you go too slow, the Baron's already dead by the time you get there. It's like, from this spot, every decision looks bad.
Every decision is terrible,
Yeah,
guys.
every decision looks terrible. And let's be honest, I mean, the game was really won through mid and jungle, and I think that is where, you know, EG are deserving of a lot of credit. You know, the early game plan, I think, right from the word go, was very, very good from Armao and Jojo. And, you know, they were preying on the fact that this is the first game for Quid on stage, you know, going to be maybe dealing with a little bit of extra nerves, but this is an absolute pop-off game for Armao.
Yeah, and I think Jojo was actually playing really, really well in the first couple like levels of lane, getting Azir so low and just threatening the dive. You know, it's really, really hard for Closer to play from that position.
I mean, I think it's like when you play that aggressively, like I like when players aren't nervous to actually force out resources constantly, right? Because every single time his W is up, he goes in, he's walking around the soldier, he's forcing Quid to replace another soldier, use that cooldown, then you're going to lose push because you don't have the soldiers on the wave, and it's like you're just constantly chipping and poking and taking out these resources from the Azir to the point where he's falling behind in health, he's losing the push, losing in all ways.
A huge Azir ultimate.
A massive shuffle onto Sion. 100 Thieves are going in, but the problem is it's already on the tank, and now can they find it? Nice shutdown back over onto Eyla. Maybe it's the fight after all. Armao gets one back, possesses Quid. Defensive heartbreaker back into the fight. Unforgiven joins up, but 100 Thieves, they engage on the enemy tank, and for the first time this game, they come out on top in a skirmish.
I mean, it worked out. They do get that sweep in, but the Azir turret, it seemed like was doing a lot of work because EG was kind of fighting past it, and I think it was hitting a lot of these squishier members. And that tower still has to be respected, but EG will be able to pull back. They're going to be able to grab this dragon. They lose a couple kills, but at the end of the day, it's +1 kill, 400 Thieves, and they're not really going to be able to do anything more with it because all their jungle camps had already been taken. They can reestablish a little vision.
Yeah, and here Revenge was sort of just overstepping. The Xayah was on mid-wave, obviously, and he wasn't thinking about the Azir turret, and I agree with you that the Azir turret was actually a big factor in that fight. But mainly that Xayah was just not there for like basically the entire fight.
Yeah.
And when Revenge knows that he has no flash, he sees Azir, and his Xayah's in mid lane showing on the wave, this is pretty obviously going to engage when you look for a fight. Good job, Quid.
Yes.
Great
We got to play. We needed Azir to make plays this game. Unfortunately, from the very word go, the deck has been stacked against him, but he finally found something there. DoubleLift completing his second full item now with the Trinity Force all the way done. I mean, Shiv Trinity, we were talking about the combo.
It's strong, but the problem is you look over and Unforgiven's a full item up, and Armao is like 2 items up, and oh my god, he is not afraid at all.
Dude, just 1v2, jumps right in on top of him. He's got no concerns in the world. Stopwatch and inventory. And when you're continually pushing the game forward like this, getting all this money, you have the problem of, well, what if I go back to base and complete my GA before I use the stopwatch? He's looking for a chance to use the stopwatch.
Exactly, he wants to end.
Because if you don't, if you upgrade it without using it, you're missing value.
Yeah, exactly.
You're missing a lot of value.
It's tough when you're that rich and making so much money. I have no opportunity to use this. You know?
How to be efficient, you know?
Yeah. So he needs to adopt the JoJo mentality. Ult over the wall, you know, into the base. They'll find a window to use that stopwatch, but the GA
no.
already completed now. Efficiency lost, never to be regained.
My jungler.
9x this
Blabber
jungle.
would never.
Blabber and Armao are very similar. They are very close friends, and they talk about jungle permanently.
Yeah?
Well, Armao was obviously the positional coach on C9 last split, right? So we're all pretty close friends with him, and funny guy.
Is it fun to see him succeed then? Is it more of a you want your friend to succeed against everyone except yourself?
Yeah, except us. Like, there's no way we can.
Yeah, you have to blast your friends. Yeah, absolutely.
Blabber's gonna be very nervous playing against EG. That's for sure. Yeah.
You can't get clapped by your own coach.
Exactly.
Yeah. That would be bad news. Because then that calls into question, wait, why was he the coach the whole time?
Yeah.
Because he's smarter and better.
The pressure mounts. Well, the pressure is on right now for 100 Thieves, man. 13,000 gold down. Next Baron spawning in a little bit over a minute. You can see the pings right now on the enemy jungle, as well as the Baron coming out from EG. So they're seeing this as just like the final nail to put in the coffin. Everybody go home, get ready, buy your wards, take over the jungle, force the Baron, win the game from there. Honestly, sounds like a plan to me. I don't expect this game to hit 30 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, I don't think so either. It's very likely it's just gonna end within on next Baron, really. One difference with Armao and Blabber is actually that Blabber would 100% dive them with Baron, as 5 just go down one lane and dive them. Armao is very like slow, and he's like, you don't need to take risks, you know? I always remember the arguments of like, you don't need to go for this, you can just play slow. So I like that type of playstyle, honestly. Armao is better than Blabber in that case, in my own head. But, you know, he doesn't end the game in 25 minutes like Blabber makes us do, I guess.
I feel like in a game like this, you can take it slow because there's not really any risk besides like a turbo int, right? But I will say that it can be, there is a fair argument to go to the other side, because in a close game, sometimes if you wait too long and you're too cautious, you give your opponents too many opportunities, right, to make plays and to find their own windows.
Well,
here we go.
They don't want to give him no opportunities now. Jojo leads the engage, and Quinn is already in the dirt. DoubleLift might have Trinity and Shiv, but they'll bury him next to his mid laner. Double kill to Jojopyun, make it a triple. Armao going legendary on that one as Evil Geniuses continues the charge. It's the Blabber strategy. Just throw 5 dudes at him and send it down mid. Some days all out, but Unforgiven puts him down too. Closer's trying to deal with anything at all, maybe cut the wave, but instead it's Eyla and Revenge ready to cut that health bar down to nothing. 100 Thieves are aced for free. It's EG in the base, 27 minutes in, 19-3. They'll make sure Quid's introduction to LCS is not a pleasant one, and they'll find themselves their 3rd win of summer 2023. Right when I was going to end the call, they decide to pad their stats instead, and Quid shuffles 4 of them back in the fountain. Now the game's done.
Amazing.
For a second there, you just like, see, wait, do they all die to the